Hey FFBE, what's going on? So we are here this week on, what is this, November, this is going to release on November 8th, so a few days from when we're recording this. So this is the Chrono Cross event that we've got, and for all the gear that released this week that we just had, we have Elmsmore as our special guest. Say hello, Elmsmore.
Hey everybody, glad to be here.
All right, so the first piece of gear, well, we're going to go over the Trust Masteries and STMRs for Surge, Kid, and Lynx, the new Vision cards for the three Chrono Cross characters, and the hard-hitting Sage Vision card, which is widely debated, the battle gear that we get from the Exploration, the EX Coin Shop update shards, and if any of them are worth purchasing for any of those Neovision Awakening units, the King Mog items, and then finally, which is kind of a big list and we'll try to go over it really quickly, is the Elements Materia gear and see if any of those are worth getting. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to talk about is the Chrono Cross farmable items from the King Mog, the Silver Earring and the Hero Shield. Now, the Silver Earring is 1000 HP, 30 attack and magic, and Nullify Stop accessory. Is this one going for, Elmsmore? Worth going for?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, I would say. Even for veterans, I mean, you might have missed out on an item that could do the same thing. Mm-hmm. But for new players, absolutely, it's a must to have. It's great to have in your pocket. And even for veterans, never hurts to have spares that do Nullify Stop and Nullify Death.
Yeah, the Nullify Stop, are there many materials that you can think of off the top of your, I'm sorry, accessories off the top of your head that have Nullify Stop?
Super Ribbon.
Which is 4 years old at this point.
Yeah, and accessory-wise, I think there's one or two more, but I'm not positive. I can't recall.
For Stop, we have one from the Final Fantasy X2 event. We have one from Tsukiko's event, apparently. And one from the Trials of Mana event, which is unit exclusive. And then Runda exclusive for Runda's his backup unit. So there's only time limited stuff. So if you missed the previous events, that's it.
Yeah, so totally to pick up, absolutely. And there's only a couple of materias that can do it for you. And I think there's one armor from Madame Adele. So either way, like I said, there's so few sources that it's good just to pick all of them up.
Yeah, I'm looking at permanent sources for Stop immunity. You've got an STMR from Madame Adele, STMR from Sephiroth, Roka's STMR, and Vanille's STMR for 50%. Oh, and the Vision card for Chizuru.
Yeah, and you can get 50% off of Shiva as well.
Yeah, so really Nullify Stop in the almost 7 years that we've had in this game is really rare for an equipable, so this is definitely worth picking up. Alright, and then the Hero Shield, which is an accessory? I was trying to equip this for the trial, or the little exploration fight. I was like, oh, let's throw on the Hero Shield when I was trying to make my video earlier in the week, and I couldn't find it. I didn't realize that Hero Shield was an accessory.
Yeah, if you didn't look on, if you go just based off the name, you get tricked for sure.
Based off the name, based off the icon, like, is it a ring? I don't, anyway. So it is 20 attack, defense, magic, and spirit, and it's Nullified Death. Again, what we just said, I think, for the same thing. Death immunity is pretty rare. Everything else is STMRs, really. And then...
Yeah, absolutely. You have the bits, whatever they're called there, the 2 bits that you could get from the story mode. You could have gotten 2 of those, one from the Chocobo and one from the story, and an exploration. And everything else is STMRs and purchasable items that give it. So it's always worth just having it in your pocket as a veteran or a new player. Definitely.
I mean, even as a veteran, it's hard to get death immunity on every unit if there's something that would do like AoE death, and not having to farm out like 5 Blizzard Orbs or something like that is definitely very helpful. So I think having another source of nullified death is definitely worth farming. Don't miss that. Okay, and that's really it except for the elements from that. let's take a look at the exploration event. The exploration event has 3 different items. Sight Scope is the first one with 25 attack, 40 magic, and nullify blind. Yeah. I would skip this one, honestly. If I didn't, like, it would even be sellable in my opinion, but for a new player, I guess. But
yeah, for a new player, I still recommend picking him up. Just not to FOMO. For a veteran, there's way better alternatives. All the items from the exploration are pretty much meh. Again, I would recommend it for a new player, but for a veteran, it's not necessary.
Yeah, it's an accessory with 40 magic and 25 attack. So if we're looking at accessories with high magic that you can get for free, you can get oh my gosh, let's see here, the magic, the dolls from the doll trial, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean, whenever free stuff from 5-year-old trials beat it out, or something like Gilgamesh's Trust Mastery beat it out, like vastly, I don't see it as being something that should be cried over to be missed. Then you've got Daemon Charm, 45 magic, nullify silence and disease. Same idea for me, honestly. If you miss it, it's okay. I mean, for new players, if you're short on gear, that's fine. But and then Dragoon Gauntlet is 55 attack and 40 magic. For free, it's great, I guess.
Yeah, again, just for new players. These ones are just for new players. No veteran needs any of that.
I think it's really just for like people who may have just joined the game and are just trying to gear up and don't have enough gear for every unit, perhaps. Because otherwise, I don't see these beating out, stuff that you get from 5-year-old trials,
Or units.
Or units, or trust masteries. Like even some 3 and 4-star trust masteries beat these out. So I don't see why they made them so low on their numbers, but it's okay. The exploration was fun. All right. So then moving on to the TMRs and STMRs. Let me find that tab. There we go. So we got the Trust Masteries for the Chrono Cross units. Did you pull for the Chrono Cross units, Elmsmore?
I did. I FOMO pulled for the card, and I got all 3 of the units.
Oh, nice. So we'll talk about the card in just a minute, but do you feel like you'll be using the units or just collection?
I'm hoping I'm going to be using the units, but just based off their kit, they're not necessary. There's alternatives, there's other stuff, even with their buffs and upgrades. I don't think they're necessary at all, but because I did pull for them, I will try to make them work.
Okay. So for the first Trust Mastery is Surge. It is a hat with 48 magic, 48 attack, 52 magic, and Demon Killer 50%. I don't know. Demon Killer's pretty easy to come by, so, and 52 magic and 48 attack is not that great. But again, it's a killer. What do you think?
It's there could be a circumstance where it's hard to gear and it'll be useful, but I highly doubt it.
If we're looking for things with Demon Killer on them, you've got hats. In the hat slot with Demon Killer, you've got Mask of Asura, which doesn't have magic on it, but it does have 55 attack, and then Alphonse's Helm, which has 26 attack, and then Cursed Mouthpiece. So those are really your contenders for that slot. So really, it's the best magic source of Demon Killer in the hat slot.
No, Fina Returned is better.
For magic in with Demon Killer?
With Demon Killer, that's right, yes. Yeah, Fina's hat is, if correctly, it's about 80 mag plus the 50 Demon Killer.
Oh no. hold on, I gotta look that up. I took it off pause there. So Floral Hairpin, which comes from Fiend of the Return, is actually Beast and Aquatic 50% killer, 50% dark resistance. Yeah, so it doesn't have Demon Killer on it.
Oh, my mistake. I thought I recalled it also had Demon Killer.
No, it's just got 2. So we don't have many sources of Demon Killer in the hat slot, especially for magic. So it's the best magical source of Demon Killer that you get in the game right now. So if you find yourself in a situation where you would need that, I would probably go for something that has higher flat magic on it though, and put my Demon Killer in the materia slot. But
yeah, definitely. Plus, it's a limited unit. The whole point is that will you pull because of that TMR? I would say no. I mean, if you have it, great, it's in your pocket, but
exactly.
It's worthy.
Would I pull for specifically just to get that TMR? No. All right. Then his STMR is a Spear Master Mune, 210 attack, 220 magic, and for Surge only, it boosts killers for beast, human, dragons, fairies, insects, plants, okay, everything, by 50%. And it has passive HP restore and LB damage boost for 50% and equipment magic for 50% when TDH. Do you like this one?
Yeah, that's a great STMR. Is it chase worthy? I would still say no. But again, if you did pull for the banner, you did get links, it's a great STMR. So for how many links you pulled, I would get them.
Now, on a unit, say like Roberto, would she use this?
Roberta?
Yeah.
No, because her LBs is just status buffs.
That's true, but it does provide the equipment magic. It is a spear,
It could be useful. Again, it just depends what you're gearing for and if you have any slots that need to fill with other stuff. In that situation, it definitely could be useful.
What is her the magic on her spear?
Isn't it like 230? But it's one-handed anyways on her spear.
Yeah, and she wants to be one-handed. That's true.
Yeah, she is better true double hand, to be fair, but it's hard to gear for. But because you use Roberta mostly for, like for her buffing as a support unit, the odds are very low that you'll use her for damage.
Yeah. But if you found yourself wanting to use her for damage, like just trying to squeak that little bit extra out on Clash of Wills, like you're like, man, I'm at 2.4 billion damage. I really need to get that extra little bit. Then maybe just switching her to like TDH with this might be helpful.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like I said, it is a great hat. It is a great STMR. There's a lot of units that could use it. It just depends how you're going to gear your unit to min-max.
But this is definitely more of like a min-maxer type of situation with his STMR.
Correct, absolutely. But it's mainly because that 50 LB damage is very rare, especially on a hat slot.
The 50 LB damage is on the spear.
It's on. We're talking about links, right? Isn't it the STMR?
Right now we're talking about Surge's STMR. The spear.
Serious. We're talking about links. You're right. No, the spear. The spear. I mean, there's Yisha's spear.
Oh yeah, the Darangel. Yeah. Two-handed. 198 magic and flat magic of 500 for Yish, I think, only.
Yeah, and Yish is a permanent unit, not limited. That's the big reason. So I'm just saying that it's not chase worthy unless you did pull for Surge. I mean, grab the STMR. But if you're thinking about chasing Surge for his STMR, I'd say no, because Yish is a permanent unit, so you could grab her when you get her.
So and it's honestly just min-maxing to get that STMR. So if you got Surge, it's great, but not worth going for. It's not something you're going to miss out on. It's not an upgrade package or something.
Yep, definitely.
Okay, moving on down then. Moving to the next piece of equipment. Then we've got Lynx. So now we're on Lynx. So Lynx is Trust Mastery, which I think is better than his STMR. is Clothes for 48 attack, 32 defense, 55 magic, 48 spirit, and Human Killer for 50%. What do you think?
I'm not a fan. Human Killer, we have a million sources. For a player that decided to pull on his banner and got him, absolutely. It's TMRs are easy to get from. So I mean, it's but aside from that, there's so many other way better equipment. So I'm not a fan of that TMR.
Okay. For myself, it's the highest source of Human Killer with magic on it. Again, that's sort of where these units are at. In the Clothes slot. So if you found yourself min-maxing and needing to specifically have Human Killer in the Clothes slot because of the way your gear is leveling out, then this would be great. But otherwise, not worth chasing. You could definitely get it in other sources and run just higher flat magic in the Clothes slot.
That's right, especially now that we have a second cow clothing item or light armor.
If you're looking for, like, is having 50% Human Killer in the Clothes slot going to beat out something with 120 magic on it? No.
No.
But good if you pick it. If you happen to have links, great. Then his hat. His hat is now his hat is what you really want to talk about, I guess. 48 magic, 38 defense, 80 magic, and 45 spirit, and then LB damage for 50%. Is this worth chasing?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, again, chasing is a strong word, but if you did chase the banner, it's the best STMR from the three, I believe.
So yeah, LB damage on a hat.
With very decent stats. That 80 magic is super strong, still has 48 attack, 38 defense, like you said, and 45 spirit. And LB damage on a hat slot is very, very rare. The only other source of 50% is Graph, and that's only physical. So, I mean, there's only attack on it. There's no magic on it. So this hat is very, very nice.
Oh my god, yeah, I'm looking at it, and it is only physical for Graphs. So this is actually a very nice hat.
Absolutely.
This could be, in some builds, best in slot, depending on how you're going.
Absolutely agree, yes.
Okay, so we found the real shining Super Trust Mastery from the banner. That's a really good hat. Thank you for pointing that out to me. I was looking at his clothes and going, oh, wow, that's better. But no, I was totally skipping on the hat. Thank you. That's amazing.
Yeah, the Lynx is, I think, out of the three pulls, Lynx is the if you get lucky with Lynx, he's the best pull you can get. Again, I would never say chaseworthy because it's a limited banner. Resources can be tight, where there's future banners that are going to be better. But if you did go for it because Chrono Cross is your favorite game, Lynx, you can't go wrong with Lynx's items.
Yeah, if there's anything I've learned about time-limited units, usually they don't get upgrades. They don't get time-limited units. Like that's just it. You get them, and you get to use them for 2 weeks, and they're gone. But their TMRs and STMRs live for years. Like I still use Mistina's STMR from the Valkyrie Profile banner. Flammy's STMR. We just got it again, and we haven't seen Flammy be useful in forever. But these TMRs and STMRs you get from the units live so much longer.
Absolutely, definitely.
So I would probably, unless I was really obsessed with it, I would not pull on a banner like this unless I was chasing like TMRs or STMRs for longevity purposes. And this is definitely a great STMR looking at it.
Yep, again, very, very strong magic stat on it, and 50 LB, which is very, very rare on a hat slot, can help make it easier for gearing your unit depending on what you're going for.
Okay, right. That was good insight on that one. Thank you. So we're moving on to Kid's TMR and STMR. Kid's Trust Mastery is, I always felt weird just saying Kid because her name is like Kid, you know, as in like she doesn't get like an actual name. But anyway, so it's Clothes, and it is 41 attack, 15 defense, 55 magic, and 21 spirit. With physical evasion 20%. Draw attacks 10%. What do you think?
I like it. I mean, it's not the greatest, but I like it. So, like I said, I did pull on the banner. I have all the units. I got Kid, and I definitely picked up the TM just to have in the pocket. Again, it's not the best, but that 20% evasion and 10% draw attack could be good if you have like a secondary tank, or even depending on some people's situation, might not have the cow hat with the draw attack, or maybe they swapped it to stats. It could be very useful.
Mm-hmm. In the clothes slot, the draw attack, it's only our third item to ever have draw attack, so that's great. Only the K producer's jacket and the Armenian Stand Führer's uniform.
Yeah.
But so
The
I mean,
side is that it's only 10%. But I mean, it can still be useful. So if you did get Kid, definitely get her TM.
oh yeah, and you're gonna want anything that's ever been comboed with draw attacks with evasion. I've always preferred equipping over anything else that just has one or the other, because it helps me get both. Because whenever I want evasion, I usually want provoke as well. So definitely, definitely a great trust mastery. I wish that Kid was a permanent unit, so everybody could I could tell people like, oh, just get a Kid's outfit. But all right. So the Super Trust Mastery, which got an upgrade on Global. Now, I don't know what it was on JP, do you?
If I remember correctly, again, maybe I'm mistaken like earlier, I apologize. If I remember correctly, on JP it was a one-hander. It got upgraded to a two-hander on Global.
Okay. So it is a dagger, two-handed, and a two-handed dagger is really rare, with physical evasion 20%, 210 magic, and draw attacks 20%. That's great.
Yeah, because we're in the TDH meta on the global version, definitely the two-handing is great. Just like you said earlier, maybe you need just a little bit more damage. It can help you out with that. Plus, it has a 20 evasion and 20 draw attack, so if you combine it with the armor, you have a total of 30 evasion and 30 draw attack. Sorry, 40 evasion and 30 draw attack.
Which you can easily gear if your unit has 0% innate in their kit of both. You can easily gear that extra 60 and have lots of slots left.
Yep, and because it's a TDH weapon, again, if you need that little extra bit of damage, it's there for you.
Which I often find is what I usually need. Is I'll be in a like Clash of Wills and I'm so close and I'll need that little bit extra damage, or Dark Visions, and I'll need just that little bit of extra damage, and I have to look through my gear, and because I know the units are set, and I have to look and see how I can redistribute the gear between my units to make this one do a little less damage to maybe double somebody else's damage or something like that. So just gear redistribution and just trying to get a little bit over the edge sometimes, because it is hard to get rank 1 sometimes.
Yeah, and also to point out, this is the only magic two-handed dagger.
I mean, how many two-handed daggers do we have in total?
As far as I recall, again, unless I'm mistaken, there's only 2. There's that, what's their name from, if I'm not mistaken, FF8, the dual tag unit.
Mm-hmm.
But they're physical defense dagger, but it's 2 TDH as well.
For daggers, it seems that we have Kyros and Ward's dagger.
That's right, yes.
Yeah. And Ultima weapon from Final Fantasy IX if you upgrade it.
Oh, that's correct, yes. When you upgrade that, yeah. But that's also attack. So there's 2 attack, and this one is the only magic. Which
is amazing. Give us more TDH things, please. That's absolutely fantastic. So I love this, actually. I want to get a whole bunch of them. I don't know what I'm going to use them for, but...
You can make, what's his name, that Moogle, that Mage Moogle...
Yigni.
Yeah, Yigni, you can make him TDH.
Oh my gosh, yeah. If it only had like some equipment magic on it or something, but I can get that from other sources, Paul's STMR or something.
Yeah, that's right. But it is there.
Okay. So if you manage to get the units, there are some great TMRs and STMRs that come off of them. Link's hat is great, and Kid's Trust Mastery and STMR are pretty good. But if you manage to get one of the units, then there is some King Mog farmables that are all materias that are only equipable to the Chrono Cross units. Now I'm going to open up the Wikipedia page for this. and I'll link that to you real quick, Elmsmore. Okay, so looking through the list of all of these different things, what they sort of do is they can give a support ability to one of the Chrono Cross units, and I'll see if I can make this a little bit bigger so everybody can read this, because man, this is tiny. All you YouTubers can read what's going on the screen here. All right, so what you would do is you would equip this on one of your Chrono Cross units if they have an extra slot, or you need to use them for some specific piece of content where you need a area effect, or you need some sort of like mitigation buff or something like that, and you would want to use these specific materials that are basically like an extra skill, turning them into more of like a support-based unit. Now, are there any of these skills that you'd want to talk about, like you think that might be actually like good in, you know, like a month from now?
I mean, it's hard to say. Again, I don't think this banner is chase worthy at all, so that's the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that any of these are necessary. There are some nice ones in them, but because I don't think that many people are gonna chase it, it's very hard to say.
Well, I know, at least in like my Discord and in a few of the different Discords I visit, people have thrown some tickets at it, and they've got one or two of the units just to be able to use some of these skills should they need to, in a scenario. And I think that's not bad, just to get any one of the random units so they could equip these skills. Because I remember like some Dark Visions or Clash of Wills where Shadow Lord was used, because he had the really high mitigation. And there's a ability in here which is only equipable by Surge, and it's mitigate damage taken 99% for one turn to one ally, and give an area effect for increased light damage by 30% and dark resistance by 50%. Now, something like that I could see getting used, and the area effects I can definitely see getting used for increasing damage by 30% or 20% or whatever it is for each one of the elements. So I can see some of them getting used.
For sure, if you fit the unit in the party, if you can fit it, depending on what tactic you're going to be using, definitely it's worth having a few of these in there.
Now, it's really what you would get out of all of these different elements is like the first one here just increases the damage to Chrono Cross units, and then gives a increased light physical and magical damage by 20%. I'm just going to do what would do more damage. The next one is mitigate damage to one ally and increase light damage area effect by 30%. Then you've got dark damage by 20%. You got wind damage by 20%. Same effect, wind damage for 20%. Water damage by 20%. Light damage by 20%. Lightning. Back to wind again. Ice. I'm not seeing a fire yet. Water. Fire. Light by 20%. Yep. So it's most of the elements for an area effect, which is kind of great. But is there any area effects that, you know, we're just lacking, that these are filling a niche for, or do we have all the elements?
I mean, I don't. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think they have Earth. But I mean, you have Sylvie.
Yeah. Well, you have Sylvie, but Sylvie doesn't do an area effect, does she?
No area effect. But I mean, unless you. But they don't.
Do you need one? I guess.
Yeah, I mean they don't have it. They don't have Earth. So if you need Earth, Sylvie
Tsukiko, right?
Or Tsukiko, yes, that's right.
Yeah. So I mean, these are nice for the area effects, and there's not a whole lot of increased resistance area effects that we've ever gotten before, so that's kind of nice to be able to get these off of them. So will some of these get used in the future in some sort of Dark Visions or Clash of Wills video, and it just like you need specifically like a Chrono Cross unit with the decreased physical accuracy for 2 turns to one enemy, and then the wind area effect? Maybe that might happen, but honestly, I if you miss out on these, I don't know that you'll be hurting unless you don't have some of the global exclusive units that do things like decrease physical accuracy or stuff like that.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think any of this is chase worthy, anyways. So if you
Hmm.
skip on them or if you don't have them, it is not a big loss. There's many alternatives. For Cow, you want to stick to Glex units because of the morale gain abilities.
Hmm.
It's not a huge loss. But for people who did go for them and have them, absolutely. I'd still say no for Cow, personally.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
there's an odd chance that it might be some crazy tactic for DV.
Yeah, I only say that because each one of them gives the field effect. And maybe some of these field effects might have some sort of crazy DV interaction in the future. Maybe you'll specifically need more wind damage and earth resistance at the same time. Who knows? Most of them are like Magnus abilities, though. You can only use them once or twice per battle, which kind of sucks. But that's not so different because most of the time, whenever you do something like that in Clash of Wills or Dark Visions, you usually only need it that one time anyways. It's on your burst turn or the turn before it, so.
Yeah.
So if you manage to get one of these units off of a ticket or something, farm them all out because you don't know which one might be useful, but if you didn't, you'll probably be able to do whatever piece of content that these might necessitate without them. Okay, man. Those are a lot. There's like 40 of them. Okay, so let's talk about the vision cards now. Vision cards were much contested because they gave us a global exclusive vision card this week. But we can start with the global vision card. That's the real meat and potatoes. So it's called Hard Hitting Sage. It has 125 magic, and then it boosts magic by 500% and equipment magic by 100% when TDH. It boosts killers for human and machine by 100% and LB damage by 50% to an FFBE unit, and then it adds light element to physical attack and boosts light damage and magic for caster for the next 2 turns by what is it, 40, 60, 100?
Yeah, I believe that's right, yes.
Okay, so you went for this card. Do you think it was worth it?
I went for it, like I said earlier, mainly because of the fear of missing out, because I am competitive in DV.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of DV, to be honest, there's always all kinds of strategies you can pull off to make things work properly for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's necessary, but because I am personally very competitive in DV, again, there might be the odd chance for an odd strategy for min-maxing damage that this is going to be like the best thing to have.
It really might, but it's hard to say because we don't know. The next Clash of Wills is a human machine that is weak to light, so it seems almost like this was geared specifically for that. And perhaps maybe this could be one of the best in slots for one of the near units that may be a magic damage unit that is going to want this card, perhaps. But all that is very speculative. So, is this card currently good for any unit?
I mean, right now, the only unit I would see this being worthwhile on would be Olive, the Envy Olive.
Mm-hmm. Because it's light imbue, but only for self. So it has to be a unit that, I mean, well, I guess you could still get the magic boost. You don't have to worry about the imbue.
Yeah, there's also the 50 LB on it, and there's others if it's useful. But the fact is that the Olive also has innate, if I'm not mistaken, and she does do light, and that she can use the light amp from this card.
Mm-hmm. She could just rotate it into her rotation, which her rotation is very small and pretty easy, so it would definitely fit this.
Yeah, so I think that's the only unit that I can think of that this card would be worthwhile for.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like I said, if there's like a DV or NDV you want to max damage, it might be useful. But other than that, I don't think it's chase worthy. I don't think it's necessary.
I'm gonna say probably the same situation. It's not like the Dazzling Demoness that comes with like 15 different passives. So this is a good card, but not something that'll make and break unless they really over tune something for future Dark Visions or Clash of Wills.
Yeah, or some random new light damage unit comes out that's going to need it. Like you said, maybe, who knows, maybe one of the near units is going to be magic light. But again, there's too many maybes. So if we're talking about recommending it to somebody, I tell people, unless you're going to try hard in DV, don't even think about this card.
Yeah, exactly. Save for something else. All right, so let's look at the other 3 cards that came with the Chrono Cross units. Now, each one had their own unique card, which I actually really enjoyed because most of the time you get the same card for everybody. So at least for the art, now none of these cards come with music, which sucks, but at least for the art, I like having 3 different cards. So the first one is from Surge. It is a Calling from Beyond Time, 110 attack and magic, LB damage 25%, 75% demon killer, and for magic attackers, magic for 300. Does this beat out anything we currently have?
No. It's an okay card, not chase worthy. Very situational for the demon killer.
Mm-hmm.
And there's way better stuff for increased stats.
Yeah, this would only be best in slot if you were specifically fighting a demon with a magic-based LB unit.
Yeah, and again, there's other stuff, so it really depends how you're gearing. Maybe you're missing some killer and you would use this card, and if you're not missing any killer, then this card is worthless.
Yeah, I'm seeing it is one of the highest for magic. You also have Warrior of the Azure Crystal, actually, which was the premium card. So that's out there.
Yeah, the thing that you have to also think about, like, what do you really need on the unit? Because again, 110 attack and magic is way too low. 25 is way too low, and 300 static, again, it's not 500.
Yeah, it's not enough. I mean, I can tell you from having the Warrior of the Azure Crystal card, which is the same flat attack, the same flat magic, and also the same plus 300 magic, and 75% demon killer. So it's basically the same card. I don't use it.
Yeah, again, the only reason, like you said earlier, you pointed out, is if you are missing killer, yes, great card. But if you're not missing killer, no, you don't need it. Sadly, there's nothing exceptional about it. Maybe if it had more base stats, maybe if it was 500 static instead of 300, maybe if it was 50 or even 75 LB damage, then we're talking something different. It's a bit higher scale, but this is a very low tier if you're talking vision cards.
Definitely. I mean, it's not free vision card low tier, but it's not great. All right, then you've got Lynx's card, which is 120 magic with boost magic by 50%, and then human killer for 50, and LP damage by 50. Did they think that giving us 10 extra magic could make the card suck more?
Well, don't forget on this one, they removed the static. So you don't even get any static boost from it.
Oh, but they give you 10 extra magic.
Yeah, well, no thank you.
So yeah, this one's passable. I don't see this one as being useful at all.
This is worse than Serge's card.
Yeah, much worse. Then Kid makes her entrance. It is 100 flat magic by 50%, Machine Killer for 100% for only breaker units, and LB damage by 100% for only breaker units. I don't see myself equipping this card ever. Ever.
Lowest. This is almost like it's not even as good as year 1 NV units. So no, not at all.
I would equip Mad Dash over this.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, I mean, I hate it when they do 100% LB damage for breakers. Because usually if you have a breaker, you want them to break. It's very
usually
rare.
their LB is a break.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, there's no flat static. It gives you nothing. The base stat is way too low. It's totally skippable.
yeah, it's so the best vision card is unfortunately the amazing hard-hitting Sage vision card, but it's even then it's kind of like maybe it'll be useful, maybe it won't. Hard to say. Although I personally have a feeling that it's going to be very useful this specific month against the light, weak human machine global exclusive enemy.
I mean, if you pulled on the banner, the step up, you would use the Glex card over the unit cards.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I would use this card on Surge or Lynx over top of their innate cards. Absolutely, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So let's see here. Okay, so now we're talking about the EX Coin Shop updates. Now, every time I do the EX Coin Shop update, I just go in here, I buy all the relics, and then sometimes the Transcension Pearl. Are any of these NVAs in here? Lucius, Prompto, Lotus Mage Fina, Onion Knight, Refia, Daisy, Gladiolus, Veritas the Dark, or Machina worth getting for any niche purpose?
I think we're talking more a casual player or a new player for this, to be honest with you. Any veteran player would have probably have them naturally at EX3 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So for a new player, I mean, Lotus Mage Fina is great to have.
She cures zombie. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Daisy's great to have.
She's a great physical tank.
Gladiolus is great to have.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. The rest is pretty forgettable. They don't really bring anything to the table.
Yeah, I can get like Machina is supposed to be a breaker, but I can get better breaks off of Avalanche's Jesse. So I mean, why would I NVA him? You know.
Exactly.
So Daisy, Gladiolus, Lotus Mage Fina, maybe. It's weird that Lucius is on here, considering you can only pull him in the Halloween banner.
Yeah, it's probably just for this, and they're gonna remove it at the next update. But I mean, Lucius is a fun character, but his mods are just so low.
It's like they were trying to copy the JP format where they give you a free NVA. You know, where they give you like Golbez or like probably what is coming up next, which will be like Gal, and they give you the unit for free, the NVA.
Yeah, I think it's to help out people to get EX levels for the event.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like this is Global's attempt at doing it, but making sure that you have to spend your EX coins to do it.
Not worth it.
Yeah, not worth it. But I did pick up the relics, and I have almost finished the board on my anima.
That's great. The relics are always a must pick up. I mean, even me as a veteran player in the whale, I still pick up the Transcension Pearls. You know, you never know.
Oh yeah.
We get EX coins like this from any event. So for those, it's worth it because this shop updates every 45 to 50 days. So you have 2 months to collect coins to pick and choose what you need from it, and the rest is pots.
Oh yeah, the rest is pots, which I cap out pretty easily on.
I personally, I'm always low on pots, but mainly HP pots.
Oh, I have it pulled up here real quick. So they did add some. I'll just touch on this real quick. They did add some new vision cards to the ticket exchange for the permanent vision card select. So if you ever pull a premium unit, are any of these new vision cards? If somebody has a VC select ticket hanging around, is any of these new vision cards worth picking up?
Sylvie.
Always watching over me?
Yeah.
Yep, definitely. Also, Happy Family, because it has that stop resistance, apparently.
Yeah, Happy Family is not a bad card either, but I mean, if you only have the one VC, get the Sylvie.
Oh, yeah. Well, the one VC, Sylvie's VC is actually amazing because of its Clash of Wills passive for the morale fill.
That's right. Dual wield weapons, get twice the morale from it.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the whole reason that you pick it, is try to get your morale gauge up in Clash of Wills. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, so From this week, what would you say are the best items from this week, like altogether the whole week?
Well, the first things we talked about, I think the from this week, those are important. The shield, not shield there, that's an accessory.
The stop and death immunity items.
Yep, that's right. I think those are the takeaways from this week. Everything else is just, have fun with the game, and you don't really need to think about it.
Mm-hmm. If you miss out on Surge Kid or Link's, their Elements stuff, or the exclusive Vision card, probably not going to cry. If you miss out on the Exploration Battle Gear, because, I don't know, you miss out on that, no biggie, but the Stop and Death Immunity gear from the King Mog, definitely worth going for.
Yeah, with Nier on the horizon, I think everything is, can be chilled out on until Nier releases.
Oh, yeah. Nier's going to be an expensive one.
Well, I have no doubt. I mean, it just depends on your resources, but I mean, I wish everybody luck. But that's the banner I still recommend people to wait on.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. They know that we've been waiting for it, and so I feel like there's a lot of hype for the units and the gear and everything that comes out with it to be good. So I'm really looking forward to that week. So really excited by that. But yeah, hold on your Lapis until then. For next week, it's probably going to be one of the JP contents, do you think?
I mean, based on the JP schedule, it's gonna. It would be funny if they did that, but it's either gonna be Xenogears or FF3.
Yeah, the Ignis banner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, NVA, Ignis, that's right. It's either or. I mean, I wouldn't put it past Gumi to give us 2 limited banners back to back. I mean, we already had the Halloween one.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, so I wouldn't put it past them. But I
Well, the everybody was very excited and surprised that they did the Chrono Cross right after Halloween, but they've done this almost every year.
Yeah, 2 limiteds back to back. I don't recall.
No, if you look the banner after Halloween, look at it's been like Valkyrie Profile, it's been like Dragon Quest, it's been a whole bunch. Every year the banner after it is usually a limited banner for some reason.
Oh, okay. But I mean, now are we gonna get a third? Are we gonna get Xenogears right now, or is it gonna be FF3? I think personally they will put FF3 before.
I think so too. And FF3 is, if you get it, it's nice, but also skippable for Lapis resources. Definitely save for Nier right now.
Yeah. Hoarding for Nier is my plan. Like I said, and unless they keep throwing Lex cards back to back at us, hopefully they won't.
Hopefully.
It's always about the fear of missing out, but I would, just like you said, I recommend everybody just save for Nier.
All right. Well, anything else you want to say before we head out?
Oh no, just thank you very much for having me as a guest. I really appreciate it. This was really fun.
All right. Thank you. See everybody next week. Peace.